We're going to get some reaction to our top story now. That is Labor's ambitious plan to have electric cars account for 50% of new car sales by 2030. Joining me live now is the CEO of the Australian Automotive Dealer Association, David Blackhall. David, thanks so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Stacey.
This 50% target, it's certainly ambitious, but in your mind, is it achievable?
Look, Stacey, it's achievable if we get a couple of things right, and the policy announcement is definitely in the right direction, but a couple of things that concern us as retailers of motor cars. You've got to get the affordability equation right, and we need a bit of a bunny hop with technology, because the battery technology right now creates anxiety from consumers about range, and of course we've got to get the charging infrastructure there. But there are elements in the policy that talk about all that. So is it achievable? It's very ambitious. Is it achievable? Well, those other things have to align for it to happen.
There's not much of an appetite for electric cars amongst Australian buyers at the moment. How many did your dealers sell last year, and how much would that increase have to be to reach this target?
Last year, the VFAX, which is the industry standard for reporting sales, showed 2,216 electric vehicles. That's less than 0.2% of the total of 1.15 million vehicles sold. So, yes, it's true to say there's not much happening on the sales front, but the other thing you need to understand is that there's about $300 billion of investment going in to electric cars across the globe. So it's going to come, but it's just got to come on the basis of consumers wanting to buy the product. And right now what we're seeing is affordability issues. Can I drive from here to Geelong or here to Sydney back? And will I be able to charge the car conveniently?
Well, affordability seems to be the big one, because these cars aren't cheap. The cheapest one on the market is still more than $40,000. So if we're seeing targets like this, do you expect the price of them to come down as well?
We do expect the price to come down. The technology's got to unlock the pricing. We've seen the troubles that even an expensive car maker like Tesla have had in hitting their... Mr Musk has got a target of a $35,000 affordable car. He can't get there right now because of the cost structure, and a lot of that is the battery. Now, if we can get the battery technology to go forward in leaps and bounds, and it will, then the cost per unit will come down and the cars will become very affordable. As car dealers, you know, we want to sell things to people. And so give us the electric cars that'll be priced correctly and we'll sell them for you. Absolutely.
One of the big arguments that the Labor Party and supporters of this plan have been using is by comparing us to overseas markets, to markets in the US, in the UK and Europe. But we're very different to them. We have vast distances to drive. And I mean, our most popular car is a ute. There's not even an electric version of the ute on the market. So can you see the Australian market adapting to these changes and actually wanting to get on board and buy these vehicles in the near future?
I can see it over time, Stacey, but the points you touch on are the very points that are constraining demand at the moment. That and supply. If I go around the 3,500 dealers that we have in our association in Australia, new car dealers, very few have electric cars right now that they can sell. Now, there's a tsunami of product coming towards us, but we've got to get the product here first. It's got to be affordable.
And also charging stations. I mean, you talk about these long distances that we as Australians generally drive. I mean, a road trip on a weekend isn't far away for many people. But if you can't get from A to B without charging your car up somewhere, you won't buy that car.
Correct. And one of the things that is interesting about this debate, and we've seen it, you know, over the last couple of years, we get compared to countries like Norway. Well, Norway is a small country. It has a massive sovereign wealth fund, big tax subsidies. It's got almost cost-free hydroelectricity. We're different. We're a vast country. We're as big as the United States, and the distances, if I want to drive from my home in Sydney to a farm in Dubbo, it's very difficult to do on current technology for electric vehicles.
Yeah, no doubt about it, David. Appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having us, Stacey.